Hey everybody, welcome to another one of my brews and reviews. Today it's going to be a little bit of a quicker one. I don't really have a brew. I have a Kings Island mug that has milk in it, and that's really all I have for the brew today. But today my review is a little bit late on this movie. I wasn't able to see it right when it came out, and I just recently did and thought I would share my thoughts a little bit on it. And that movie is Disclosure Day. The Steven Spielberg take on aliens and whether aliens are here or not. What do you think? Tell me in the comments if you think that there are aliens out there or if the government knows about aliens. But this is Spielberg's take, right? The idea is kind of the main character is Margaret Fairchild, played by Emily Blunt, and Dr. Daniel Kellner, played by Josh O'Connell, who you see this split story between Emily Blunt's character as a news anchor and Josh O'Connor's character, Mr. Kellner, as this very smart computer scientist who steals all of the secrets from the government organization charged with protecting the knowledge of extraterrestrials. And so you see these two plots of these two characters moving alongside. I'm not going to give away too much. Emily Blunt's character has an encounter that leads her in one direction, and then Josh O'Connor's character leads him in that same direction, and then you kind of see their stories move forward. This movie makes you think. It's an interesting movie. You know, when you know, it's just a topic that is kind of fun to think about. I know Steven Spielberg is very passionate about this. You can tell that from the story. I will say, though, other than Emily Blunt's amazing performance, I thought her performance here was immaculate. I thought other than that, unfortunately, this movie suffered from just a story that was really hard to follow. There were many times throughout this movie that I just didn't know what was happening. I wasn't sure who was going where. I didn't know kind of, you know, where kind of both sides of this story were going to come together. I thought they forced religion into the movie in a little bit too overt of a way. It was kind of like Steven Spielberg was trying to just like drive home this seemingly paradoxical situation between religion and there being aliens and how that would impact everyone's faith. And I think that's an interesting topic, right? You can think, you know, what would happen to your faith if you were a person of faith or anyone's faith if you found out there were aliens and you found out they were real and they were here? Would that hurt your faith? Would it help your faith? That's an interesting question to ask. So it's a good question. All the questions he's asking in this movie and the concepts are so intriguing. But the way it's done is just very forced and it's very direct. There's a character in the movie, for example, who just happens to be a former nun or a former novitiate into a Catholic sisterhood. And it just feels extremely forced. Like her character doesn't seem like she would have been a nun, but we force that, right, to create this kind of dichotomy between religion and aliens. So again, I thought a lot of the acting was forced. I thought the story was forced. At the very end of the movie, I think the very end of the movie also is a little disappointing. When the movie ended, I said, "Really? That's it? Okay, kind of wanted to see what was going to happen next, but I guess that's the end of the movie." So yeah, I think the positives of the movie, Emily Blunt, when you see what she has to do in this movie, she has to play so many different parts here. I don't want to spoil what it is, because if you see it, like on streaming or something, I don't want to spoil it. But Emily Blunt should win some award for this. Like, her acting, she carries this movie all the way through. Like, the acting difference in the performance, unfortunately, between Emily Blunt and her boyfriend in the movie, Jackson, who's played by Wyatt Russell, Emily Blunt just, like, the difference in acting and the performance is just unbelievably different between those two characters, to the point where it's almost too much of a difference in acting skill. So Emily Blunt was a huge good part here. I think the intrigue and this idea of aliens is cool. The dichotomy between religion and aliens is cool, but then that leads me into the negative parts of the movie where it felt like it was all forced. It felt like they were trying to force, in a weird way, this relationship between religion and aliens. The bad guy was like the typical bad guy organization just chasing them around, so it just kind of felt like a lot of borrowed stuff. And then the end of the movie, what happens at the very, very end, like right before the credits roll, I was like waiting to hear something, and then the credits rolled. And I said, what do you mean? I didn't get to hear that. So, and I think you'll feel that as well at the end of this movie. So, all in all, it is a Spielberg film. There's a lot of good in it. There's also probably more clunkiness and forced. I was telling a friend, this movie kind of feels like Steven Spielberg is towards the end of his career, and he likes aliens and the idea of there being aliens. So he just decided to write an alien movie on a napkin and just make an alien movie because he thinks it's really cool that aliens may or may not exist. That's kind of what this movie felt to me. So that's my synopsis. Again, should you run out and see it at the end of its showing this month? Maybe not. It probably will be on streaming, I would imagine. It'll be a good streaming movie. I think it's one of those movies that people will like when it comes out on streaming, and it'll do fine wherever it decides to be. So let me remind you of my review scale. 5 is a see it again right now. I want to go back to the movies. 4, it's a good movie. I don't want to see it again right now, but I'll see it again later. 3 is a decent or average movie. 2 is a movie that's just not my cup of tea. 1 is bad. And 0 is, what are we even making here? Okay? And so when I think about Disclosure Day, I think about a cool concept that made me think, but a story that felt forced and an ending that made me kind of disappointed. And so if I'm going to score this movie, I would have to give it a 3 out of 5 on my Millrod scale. It's a just fine. It's okay, right? And I think when it comes out on streaming, it's probably going to be a 4 out of 5 streaming movie that people will enjoy watching on a Saturday night with their significant other and some popcorn. So that's my review for Disclosure Day. Are you going to go see it? Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments. And also, if you don't mind, if you've gotten to this point in the video, if you like the movie review content we've been doing, feel free to subscribe to the channel so that you get notifications and click the bell so that you get notifications when more videos come out. Thank you guys so much. This is Millrod. Have a great week.